over people's health, the children's futures. These people should lose their jobs and face criminal charges for the people that they've injured.
It's reached a boiling point. Calls for new investigations tonight taking aim at the decisions that allowed toxic lead to keep flowing through the water faucets in Flint.
The evidence is overwhelming. The state and federal regulators failed to protect something we all take for granted, and that, of course, is safe tap water.
7 investigator Jim Kirchner shows us how this crisis could have been prevented and why so many people are demanding accountability and action.
All summer long, with 3 kids on the move, Melissa Mays had one crystal clear message.
I don't want them to just drink sugary sodas or anything, so I push the water. I'm just like, come in and get a glass of water.
But now, just for being a good mom, she's paying an unthinkable price. They've been poisoned with lead.
All 5 of us. They found levels of consistent exposure in all our blood.
Lead is something that needs to be prevented and never ever reaching the body of a child, because when it does, it is irreversible and there is no treatment.
Doctors like Mona Hanna Atija, who fought to expose the problem, have never seen anything like it.
We are assuming the entire population of Flint is lead exposed.
Were the people in Flint forgotten?
You know, this wouldn't have happened in Ann Arbor or Bloomfield Hills or Grosse Pointe.
3, 2, 1.
Ironically, the poisoning of a city started with a celebration.
Here's the Flint. Here's the Flint.
In April of last year, Flint disconnected from the Detroit water system. Darnell Early made the decision. He was the city's emergency manager at the time. He now runs Detroit public schools.
Well, it was just another financial burden that the city could not afford.
Yes, Flint was in a financial hole. Yes, Detroit had raised water rates. The disconnect saved $1.5 to $2 million a month and was temporary. Flint is part of a new system being built from Lake Huron that is supposed to be finished next year. Flint had a backup plan when it switched away from Detroit water. The Flint River, and right next door, conveniently, the water treatment plant. The problem was this plant had not been used on a regular basis for some 50 years.
The problem with the river is that it's so corrosive that it's tearing the pipes apart and causing the lead to leach into the water.
The first shocking discovery of lead in the water would come 10 months after the disconnect, and not found by government testing, but by this mom, Leanne Walters. Her son Gavin had lead poisoning.
I don't want any other moms to go through the feelings that I went through.
She contacted the EPA and her water was tested by the city. This internal memo shows alarm bells were going off inside the EPA. Other experts came to town, including a team from Virginia Tech. They did more testing and found more lead.
The water experts came from Virginia Tech and said, hey, this water has high lead and lead. No, but nobody listened.
In June, an EPA expert, Miguel Del Toro, wrote this memo questioning the absence of corrosion control in the Flint River water and said it was a serious concern for residents with lead service lines.
He was silenced, so the EPA is to blame, the MDEQ is to blame.
The Department of Environmental Quality is a state agency that failed to act with urgency. So in September, officials at Hurley Medical Center looked at routine blood tests of kids before and after the water switch.
1,700 samples, and it was in the hundreds that were lead exposed, that had the proven elevated blood lead level.
Flint lives matter. Flint lives matter.
When you went public, everything blew up.
Everything blew up.
You were the game changer.
We were the game changer, but unfortunately it took evidence that children were being hurt to change the game.
State officials were still saying, not so fast.
I do not think that it rises to the level of a statewide emergency.
Why not?
There's just, we are here with the resources necessary.
Early last month, the governor came to town with a financial plan to put Flint back onto the Detroit water system. But was it out of obvious health concerns or the pressure to finally come in?
I don't think it's one or the other. This was a good decision, and we promptly found the resources to move forward to get this done as quickly as possible.
Veteran Detroit investigative reporter Kurt Guyette, now working for the ACLU, was asking tough questions earlier this year and taking his own action. Another internal email shows a state PR person reacting to his call. Apparently, it's going to be a thing now. The thing, many are now saying, is how the Snyder administration failed from the beginning.
Deny there was a problem, downplay the extent of the problem.
Why?
Because the administration is directly responsible for the problem.
They knew about it, and even after we brought them the Virginia Tech results and how bad and widespread it is, they still did everything they could to keep us on the Flint River. And why?
Money.
Why? Exactly. And money over people's health, the children's futures. These people should lose their jobs and face criminal charges for the people that they've injured.
In Flint, Jim Kurtzner, 7 Action News.
And we aren't done here. Tomorrow on Action News at 6, Jim's going to show us who is in a position to get accountability and action.